Have you ever listened to English and understood every word, but still didn't understand the sentence? That's because B1 English is different. At this level, English becomes less about individual words and more about understanding complete ideas. Hi, I'm Mark. So today, let's test your English. I'm going to give you 40 real-life English sentences. Listen carefully. Try to understand the meaning. Then I'll explain it. After that, listen again and repeat with me. And here's the challenge. If you can understand most of these sentences without help, your English is probably around B1 level. Let's begin. Sentence 1. This is something you say when you planned to do something but kept delaying it. I've been meaning to call you all week. I've been meaning to call you all week. This means I wanted to call you for several days, but I didn't do it. Listen again. I've been meaning to call you all week. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 2. You use this when something slowly becomes normal for you. It took me a while to get used to it. It took me a while to get used to it. This means, at first it felt strange, but later it became normal. Listen again. It took me a while to get used to it. Try to say it smoothly. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 3. This is a natural reaction when something surprises you. I wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't expecting that at all. This means I was completely surprised. Listen again. I wasn't expecting that at all. Now repeat. Very nice. Sentence 4. Use this when your final situation is different from your plan. I ended up staying much longer than planned. I ended up staying much longer than planned. This means I planned to leave early, but I stayed longer. Listen again. I ended up staying much longer than planned. Focus on ended up. It's very common. Now repeat. Good. Sentence 5. You say this when something is not exactly what you imagined. That's not really what I had in mind. That's not really what I had in mind. This means, that's not what I was thinking about. Listen again. That's not really what I had in mind. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 6. This is a natural sentence when you've been waiting or excited for something. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. This means I've been excited about this for a long time. Listen again. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. Say it with feeling. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 7. This is a calm way to say worrying is not useful. There's no point in worrying about it now. There's no point in worrying about it now. This means worrying won't change anything. Listen again. There's no point in worrying about it now. Now repeat. Very nice. Sentence 8. You say this when you regret not knowing something earlier. I wish I had known that earlier. I wish I had known that earlier. This means I didn't know before, and I feel a bit sorry about it now. Listen again. I wish I had known that earlier. Now repeat. Good. Sentence 9. This is used when something keeps staying in your mind. I can't help thinking about it. I can't help thinking about it. This means I keep thinking about it even if I don't want to. Listen again. I can't help thinking about it. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 13. This means something is easier in words than in real life. That's easier said than done. That's easier said than done. This means it sounds easy, but it is actually difficult. Listen again. That's easier said than done. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 14. You say this when you don't feel like doing something. I don't feel like going out tonight. I don't feel like going out tonight. This means I don't want to go out tonight. Listen again. I don't feel like going out tonight. Now repeat. Nice. Sentence 15. This is used when things don't go as planned. Things didn't go according to plan. Things didn't go according to plan. This means everything happened differently than expected. Listen again. Things didn't go according to plan. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 16. This is something you say when you finally understand a situation. Now I see what you mean. Now I see what you mean. This means I understand your idea now. Listen again. Now I see what you mean. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 17. You use this when something is not very important or not a big problem. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. This means it's not important. Listen again. It doesn't really matter. Now repeat. Nice. Sentence 18. This is a natural way to say you don't understand something fully. I'm not quite sure about that. I'm not quite sure about that. This means I'm a little uncertain. Listen again. I'm not quite sure about that. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 19. You say this when something feels correct or logical. That makes sense. That makes sense. This means I understand and agree logically. Listen again. That makes sense. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 20. This is used when something is not your responsibility. That's not really my responsibility. That's not really my responsibility. This means it's not my job or duty. Listen again. That's not really my responsibility. Now repeat. Good. You've made it halfway. And if some of these sentences felt difficult, that's completely normal. B1 English isn't about knowing every word. It's about understanding ideas in real situations. Let's continue. The next sentences are a little more challenging. Sentence 21. You use this when you want to think before answering. Let me think about it for a second. Let me think about it for a second. This means I need a moment to decide. Listen again. Let me think about it for a second. Now repeat. Very nice. Sentence 22. This is a natural way to show hesitation. I'm not sure I can make it. I'm not sure I can make it. This means I might not be able to come or do it. Listen again. I'm not sure I can make it. Now repeat. Good. Sentence 23. You use this when you want to confirm something. Just to be clear, this means I want to make sure we understand each other. Listen again. Just to be clear. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 24. This is a very natural apology in daily life. I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. This means my intention was different. Listen again. I didn't mean it like that. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 25. You use this when something happens unexpectedly. That was unexpected. That was unexpected. This means I didn't predict that. Listen again. That was unexpected. Now repeat. Nice. Sentence 26. This is a polite way to ask for clarification. Could you explain that a bit more? Could you explain that a bit more? This means, please give more details. Listen again. Could you explain that a bit more? Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 27. You use this when something feels difficult to accept. I find that hard to believe. I find that hard to believe. This means it's difficult for me to accept as true. Listen again. I find that hard to believe. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 28. This is used when something is not as important as it seems. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. This means it's not a serious problem. Listen again. It's not the end of the world. Now repeat. Good. Sentence 29. You say this when you realize something important. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. This means, now I understand the reason. Listen again. That explains a lot. Now repeat. Very nice. Sentence 30. This is a polite way to disagree. I see your point, but I don't fully agree. I see your point, but I don't fully agree. This means I understand you, but I think differently. Listen again. I see your point, but I don't fully agree. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 31. This is something you say when you finally decide after thinking. I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind. This means I have decided. Listen again. I've made up my mind. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 32. You use this when you don't want to continue something. I can't deal with this right now. I can't deal with this right now. This means I can't handle this situation at the moment. Listen again. I can't deal with this right now. Now repeat. Nice. Sentence 33. This is a natural way to say something is confusing. I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea what's going on. This means I completely don't understand the situation. Listen again. I have no idea what's going on. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 34. You use this when you are slightly surprised but accepting. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. This means I didn't expect it, but I understand it. Listen again. I guess that makes sense. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 35. This is used when something is finally understood after confusion. It finally makes sense now. It finally makes sense now. This means now I understand it clearly. Listen again. It finally makes sense now. Now repeat. Good. Sentence 36. You use this when you want to express a strong opinion carefully. I honestly don't think that's a good idea. I honestly don't think that's a good idea. This means I strongly disagree, but politely. Listen again. I honestly don't think that's a good idea. Now repeat. Very nice. Sentence 37. This is a very natural expression for agreement with a condition. I'm fine with it as long as it works for everyone. I'm fine with it as long as it works for everyone. This means I agree, but only if it's good for everyone. Listen again. I'm fine with it as long as it works for everyone. Now repeat. Excellent. Sentence 38. You use this when something is not worth the effort. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the effort. This means it's not valuable enough to spend energy on. Listen again. It's not worth the effort. Now repeat. Good. Sentence 39. This is a natural way to accept reality. There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. This means we cannot change the situation. Listen again. There's nothing we can do about it. Now repeat. Very good. Sentence 40. This is the final reflection sentence. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. This means I understand my mistake and won't repeat it. Listen again. I've learned my lesson. Now repeat. Excellent. Excellent work. You just listened to 40 real B1 level English sentences. Some were easy, Some were challenging, and that's exactly the point. If you understood most of them, you're already thinking in English more than you realize. Don't worry about the sentences you didn't understand. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. Come back to this lesson in a few days. Listen again and see how many more sentences you understand the second time. You might surprise yourself. See you in the next lesson.